Here is your rewritten story based on the outline, with fresh character names, natural American English, and emotional tension throughout, crafted to land at around 4,500 characters, and written as a single flowing narrative. She laughed when she said it. If you fix this engine, I'll marry you. But he didn't laugh. He just fixed it. It was 3:42 p.m. on a blistering Thursday in rural Georgia when the engine gave up. No smoke, no drama, just a subtle shudder, one flickering dashboard light, and then silence. The air conditioning died first. The heat slid in like it had been waiting. Alexis Hayes, CEO of a logistics company, gritted her teeth and eased her black SUV onto the gravel shoulder. No signal. No assistant. No backup vehicle. Just a faded wooden sign ahead. Mason's Auto, 1 mile. Of course. She ripped off her sunglasses and stared at herself in the rearview mirror. Her silk blouse clung to her neck, and sweat slicked her collarbone. She stepped out into the thick dust, her designer heels sinking into gravel like they didn't belong. 1 mile. She walked it frustrated, frizzy-haired, and alone. The place looked like a joke. The open sign buzzed like it was considering quitting. Mason's Auto was a boxy garage built in the 70s with siding that peeled like sunburn. The only sign of life, a lazy ceiling fan behind the screen door and the soft sound of old jazz from a dusty radio. Inside, it smelled like rubber and fried onions. A man worked near the back, buried under the hood of a beat-up Chevy. He didn't look up. But someone else died, a girl, maybe 10, sitting on a stool with a sketch pad in her lap and a red pencil in her teeth. "Daddy," she said without looking away from her drawing, "someone's here." The man stood slowly, wiping his hands on a filthy rag. He had strong forearms and a jaw that looked like it had stopped smiling a long time ago. "Need help?" he asked. "Yeah." "Engine overheated about a mile back. No signal. No idea why." He didn't ask more. Just nodded and said, "Jules, grab the kit." 5 minutes later, he was under her SUV's hood. Alexis leaned against the door, arms crossed. "I usually have a team for this kind of thing," she muttered. He didn't answer. "Just worked." She glanced at him again. "You always do this alone?" "Not alone," he said, still focused. "She's here." Jules sat cross-legged in the gravel, sketching the SUV's mirror like it mattered. "Shouldn't she be in camp or school or something?" The man straightened. "Camp costs money. I run a shop. She comes with me." No apology. No defensiveness. Just fact. There was something different about him. His silence had gravity. Like he'd long decided the world didn't owe him conversation. Alexis stuttered him for a second and, out of nowhere, said, "So if you can fix this engine, I'll marry you." The girl giggled. The man didn't even flinch. "Challenge accepted," he said simply. And for the first time in a long time, Alexis didn't have a comeback. He worked like a surgeon's low, deliberate, hands moving with confidence. Everything in the garage had a worn-in feel. No receptionist, no espresso machine, no sleek software, just 3 cracked stools, a 2017 calendar, and an old couch that smelled like yesterday's grease. Jules sketched. Alexis sat, phone dead, blouse rumpled, and for once still. "You drawing me?" Alexis asked. "Kind of," Jules replied without looking up. "Make me a superhero." Jules shrugged. "Don't know what kind you are yet." That made Alexis smirk. "And what do I look like?" Jules finally looked up and said matter-of-factly, "Someone strong, but probably needs a nap." Elijah laughed from under the hood for the first time. "That your kid?" Alexis asked. "She's mine," he replied simply. Gets the sharpness from her mother. Something softened in his voice when he said it. Alexis didn't press. After a while, Elijah stepped back, wiping his hands. Cooling fan relay's dead. I've got one in the back. Gonna take a couple hours. I've got a meeting in Charleston at 6. He looked at the sun. You'll barely make it if I don't mess up. She stayed. They didn't talk much. Jules sketched Alexis's car like it was a cartoon animal. Alexis asked the girl if she ever got bored. Sometimes, Jules said. But Dad says bored kids get creative. Does that work? Jules held up the drawing. It was good. Really good. Loose and playful but weirdly precise. Alexis felt seen. Not as a CEO. Not as a brand. Just as a tired woman sitting still for once. Elijah returned with the part. You can wait here or walk to the diner. I'll stay, she said, almost too fast. When Jules left to get water, Alexis walked to the car and watched Elijah finish up. She's smart, she said. Too smart, he replied. But I'd rather her be here than somewhere I don't trust. You think she's missing out? Missing out on what? Air conditioning and Chromebooks? She's learning real things. Watching someone who doesn't rush. That hit Alexis harder than she expected. He stood up. It's done. Should run smooth. She reached for her wallet. What do I owe you? He handed her a slip of paper. The number was absurdly low. This can't be right. It is. I'll pay double. I charge what it costs. Not what I can get. She stared at him. You always that honest? Only when people show up pretending they're not lost. She didn't argue. Later, as she left, she asked, Why'd you say yes to that joke? About marrying me? He smirked. Thought it might shut you up for a second. It had. And somehow, she hadn't minded. She returned days later. No engine trouble. Just lunch and a sketchbook for Jules. More visits followed. No reason. No plan. Sometimes silence. Sometimes hard truths. She told him about her stress. About losing herself in a title. About how she used to draw but was told ambition mattered more. He listened. Never judged. Never offered to fix her. One day, she asked if he'd help consult on a transport contract. He looked at her and said, You sure this isn't guilt? I'm sure. I'm just tired of building empires that don't help anyone real. On another visit, Jules handed her a drawing of the three of them. Alexis barefoot. Elijah with grease on his face. Jules holding both their hands. You got my bad side, Alexis teased. Nope, the girl said. That's your real side. The final time she came, she brought a box. Inside was a plaque, Mason's Auto. Sometimes the best work happens off the books. Elijah stared at it. It's too much. No, she said. It's not. As she left, she turned and asked, You remember when we met? You said you'd marry me if I fixed your engine. She smiled. Still thinking about it. He didn't smile back, just said, Don't rush. And for once in her life, Alexis Hayes didn't.